What's up guys, Metal Thrashing Buddy here, and today I'm doing my first ever album review. Today I'm reviewing Motionless in White's Scoring the End of the World. Let's check it out. So I've been a fan of Motionless in White since 2011, so roughly 11 going on 12 years. And ever since I bought Creatures from a Best Buy because I thought the album artwork was cool, without ever listening to them before. And I've grown with this band. I feel like I've grown up with this band, and we're all getting older and more mature together, and their sound is reflecting that. And I gotta say, on an out of 10 scale, 10 out of 10, they knocked it out of the park. Not just in a metal way, I think in a musical way all around, and it's reflecting on the Billboard charts too. They're just climbing and climbing and climbing week after week since it released on June 10th. I've had some time to sit with this record and think about this record and listen to it over and over again. And as the rest of the world's gotten to do that too, this album is blowing up, and I see why. When the album starts off with a song called Meltdown. And I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but on this album, I've got my track list right here, and a note I made was Meltdown, Signs of Life, Werewolf, and Porcelain. You can notice that the vibe is very much so industrial, and the instruments express that, and the mix expresses that. That snare is super like factory, like makes you think of like robots, Terminator, like hits like an industrial record. And then there are songs that are more along the metalcore style of things that the mix reflects that as well. And the producer Drew Folk, who worked on this record, that guy is no stranger to success and bangers and awesome records. He did Nation by Bad Wolves. He's done things with successful rappers. You have to excuse me, I just checked a list of his discography today, and I was just absolutely blown away. He had worked on Reincarnate with Motionless in White, which is one of my personal favorite records, and I think Reincarnate is probably second to Scoring the End of the World as far as that bare blend of metalcore and industrial kind of techno almost, influences that they throw in there. And most importantly, Drew Folk has been working on the past two Ice Nine Kills records, Welcome to Horrorwood and The Silver Scream. And that reflects in Motionless in White Scoring the End of the World, I think. Werewolf, as soon as the track kicks in, it's track number 3, I'm like, this is a huge, huge Ice Nine Kills vibe. This entire record to me is kind of like a horror movie score in itself, which is so funny, naming it Scoring the End of the World. It's kind of like scoring a horror movie, I guess. I think this record is absolutely great. So yeah, breaking down Meltdown, it's a good combination of that industrial sound that they've been working in. And I think this record as a whole just honestly brings it all together better than they have before in a tasteful way. And other ways they've done it on past records have been like, this song's going to be a metalcore song. Or a majority of these songs are going to be metalcore songs. And a majority of these are going to be like spooky, industrial, techno kind of songs. And I think that they've been able to blend their own style into both of these genres better than they have before. Not to say that I don't like tracks like Wasp off of Reincarnate and America on Infamous and stuff like that, but I think they do it better. They're finding their own take on it rather than going, we're just going to make a song like this band and we're going to make a song like this band. I think we're going to do this style the way Motionless in White would. And my hat's off to them. It's a masterpiece. Signs of Life, track number 2, is that big, enormous, huge Motionless in White chorus that is like my favorite thing. It's what hooked me from the beginning. And I first heard the track Immaculate Misconception on Creatures. The chorus in that song is fucking huge. And as soon as I heard it, I went, okay, this band is special. And it's been so cool to get older with these guys and follow these guys' career and see the industry and like fans around the world see that as well. They're finally on the platform, I think, with Roadrunner Records. that can get them to the elite level that they deserve to be in. I think that Motionless in White is a band that should be playing not just these huge festivals, but they should be playing arena tours with bigger arena bands as well, because they can appeal, especially with this record, to a more broad audience than just a metal audience and a rock audience. I think that like this entire track list of songs is just good music no matter what you're into. Going into Werewolf, which I think is one of my favorite tracks, is that is a track that is exclusively like a spooky techno kind of song. And for not being a huge fan of that genre necessarily my entire life, with the exception of Manson back in the day and older Rob Zombie, and kind of, threading the needle of the spooky, dancey, techno beat kind of rock, this does it about as good as you can do it. And it brings back a huge chorus again. And I think that any awesome Motionless in White song has got to have that huge chorus. And they bring it back again with that song, and they absolutely nail it. And it's a horror theme. Who doesn't love it? I just say that nothing goes better together than metal music and the horror theme, horror film genre, whatever, horror stories. It's just spookiness. Give me all of it, man. Going into Porcelain, which is, I think, their best melody and harmony vocally and like just catchiness that they've ever written. It blew me away. Like the intro to that song, I went, this is crazy. It's like something that you've heard before in, again, like in Ice Nine Kills style, but they're absolutely nailing it in a way that I don't think any other band has done it before, which is followed up by Slaughterhouse, arguably one of their heavier songs ever, honestly. It's just an unrelenting smack in the face, and featuring the singer of Knock Loose too. I mean, the features on this record are going to bring out tons of new fans, and I think it really helped them out on chart-wise with their success that they've had. Going into their single Masterpiece, which I'm kind of just, it's a good song. It's nothing too special to me. I'm more so into these tracks that weren't the singles, but that's how I've been with every Motionless in White record. It's no offense to any of the singles they release. It just seems like the singles that they release are safe, which is smart. And the best tracks are the tracks that maybe, like, maybe they won't like it, maybe they will. It always ends up with being they will. Cause of Death is another sleeper song. We Become the Night is a huge anthem song, and they've got a couple of these peppered in here. I'll mention them now. We Become the Night, Red, White, and Boom, featuring Caleb Shomo. Huge anthem tracks, and they do the anthem genre really well. Red, White, and Boom, it reminds me a lot of America, and they drop the Land of the Free, Sick, and Depraved line in there too, if you guys caught that, which I think is awesome. I think Motionless in White's callbacks to older tracks is super cool. I think more bands should do that all the time, especially if you're threading the horror metal theme. It's cool to call back like horror movies do. I think it's genius. And I think my hat's off to Drew Folk on producing this record. It's huge. The guy seems to be able to do no wrong with any bands he produces, whether it's Papa Roach, or it's a hip-hop or rap artist, or it's freaking Ice Nine Kills or Motionless in White. The guy just seems to produce gold for whoever he works with. Most recently also doing A Day to Remember's You're Welcome, which I'm not the biggest fan of that record, although I am a huge A Day to Remember fan. I'm not the biggest fan of that record, but that's because, I always want another Homesick, and we're just not going to get it. But nevertheless, Drew Folk makes hits, and this album's full of them. Out of 10, it's a 10 out of 10. Easy, done. A couple weeks in, reflecting on this record, it's perfect. Thank you for freaking making another awesome record, for filling my life with awesome music. Check it out if you haven't yet. Motionless in White's Scoring the End of the World. You're going to love it. Thanks for checking out my first ever album review. Testing out a new mic as well. This Rode little Rode mic that plugs into my iPhone. I don't know if I'm going to keep using it, whatever. I'm doing a lot of cool things with my channel now. I'm going to integrate some vlogs, going to integrate album reviews like this one, and I'm going to throw on some gaming clips from my Twitch channel. I got all sorts of stuff going on. You can find me on all the socials, Instagram, Twitch, all at Metal Thrashing Buddy, TikTok, Metal Thrashing Buddy. Like this video, comment, what do you think of the record? Do you like it? Hit the subscribe button. Me and my family appreciate you. It really helps us out. Let's grow this together. I want to bring you guys awesome content, and the more subscribers I get, the more often I can commit to this, the more time I can commit to this, and I can bring you guys new content multiple times a week. I'd like to make content every day for you. Let's hang together. My metal people, I'll see you next time.